Welcome to the high-speed, high-banks, high-octane half-mile dirt track that is Eldora Speedway here on iRacing. Welcome to the CSI Shocks Spring Series. It's round one of the season today. Time for some more sprint car action in this championship. Last time out it was dirt midgets. This season it's the 360 wing sprint cars. 5 weeks ahead of us. Who will come out victorious? Let's find out as we go live on the Global Sim Racing channel. My name is Ryan Jones. Alongside me in the booth is Gary Weaver. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using cameras provided to us by Mr. Dougie Beard. And let's find out a little bit more about Eldora Speedway with our GSRC track guide.
Welcome to the world's greatest dirt track, Eldora Speedway. Located in Rossburg, Ohio, northwest of Dayton, Eldora opened in 1954 and has been one of the premier dirt tracks in the country ever since. The half-mile clay oval, now owned by Hall of Fame driver Tony Stewart, is the perfect track to learn the ropes in any dirt car. It's versatile in its ability to host great racing across the board, including the winged and non-winged sprint cars, modifieds, and all 3 late models. Eldora features fast and sweepy corners, a slight bend down the back straight, mainly attributed to a rounded-off corner exit in Turn 2. Now, like any good dirt track, the best drivers can adapt their style to many different lines, depending on the track's condition at Eldora. Get a good run on the cushion, you'll be flying around the outside of the track. Be careful, don't jump the cushion in Turn 1. That wall is unforgiving. Around the bottom of the track, turns 3 and 4 can be the more daunting corners, especially as the berm works its way down to the concrete wall. So who will join the likes of Stewart, Steve Kinzer, Donnie Schatz, and Scott Bloomquist, the other legends of dirt racing who have claimed victory here at Eldora? Let's find out. Enjoy the show.
Well, that was a look at Eldora Speedway, and we go now to Gary Weaver. What more can you tell us about this racetrack, especially in these 360s?
Well, here in Eldora Speedway, Rossburg, Ohio, with the ever-famous Big E, 24-degree bank turns in a half-mile length, or 0.8 kilometers as well. The 360 sprint cars, not as high-powered as the 410s, where you really have to pretty much sling them straight into the corner. So these drivers do have a little bit less horsepower to work with, and essentially a little bit more maneuverability here in these 360s.
There's certainly going to be a lot of fun in these cars on this track. It's going to be fast, wild out there for these drivers, and it wouldn't be possible without any of the sponsors that help support the series, and most importantly, well, all is just as important as each other as well. I was trying to say there, Competition Suspension Incorporated, CSI, bringing us our race details. They are the shock of choice to many of today's top professionals. They've won over 5,000 races and many track, regional and national championships around the world. You can learn more by visiting competitionsuspension.com. And these race details, Gary, you got a pretty good night ahead of us.
Yeah, round 1 of 5, and that's going to be the first of those 5 rounds, of course, in the 360 wing and sprint car. Everyone is on equal setups, so the setups are fixed and locked. So everyone essentially on an equal playing field here. The top 14 qualifiers will be in the A main, and 2 heats will determine which of those 8 drivers will make it to the A main, where top 4 of those 2 heats will advance immediately.
Qualifying is about 30 seconds from getting underway. Qualifying is going to be brought to you by Pit Logic. Pit Logic is the most comprehensive chassis and shock setup application on the market, and so qualifying this track, all they're going to get is 3 laps to get it done. Top 14 will make it through into the A main. The rest are going to race their way in through the heats. And if you really screw it up, you're at the back of the heat, which is only 15 laps long, and your work really cut out for you. Qualifying, most crucial part of the night, I reckon.
That's going to be the most important part of this night as well. So luckily for the drivers, it's going to be on a fresher track surface as compared to what they had run down it through into qualifying. So looks to be right now taking a look at the number 96 of Zach Jurczyk. I believe that is how that is pronounced. So 3 laps, and we're going to see how these drivers take to the top side. Not immediately for the number 96, taking a little bit of a lower lane on the top side as well. As he starts his timed lap, and we'll see where he places here off turn number 4.
Is that the 96 or 69? I can't figure that one out. He comes across. It's 14.633, puts him 8th after his first effort. Going to try again here 2 more times around through 3 and 4 this time. Let's see. Currently fastest is Emerson Axum up there. The 14.386. Going to be extremely tight, this field around this race track. Doesn't find an improvement there on lap 2. Now he's knocked off pole for now.
And Bryce Lucius with the lead now, 14.381, as you can see there in the top right-hand corner of your screen. And I believe we'll see, unless some drivers have some final attempts or start a little bit late, we may be seeing that fastest lap change for the time being. But right now, it's Lucius in the lead by only 5/1000ths of a second as well, as you see on the timing tower at the top left-hand corner of your screen.
Jordan Shipley getting his lap in now, puts himself way back in 49th place. Nothing against him, but My word, what a field we've got. It's a lot of drivers lined up, Gary. And now puts himself up into 40th. There's a lot of cars around this racetrack. The heat's going to be massive, which is also going to mean some pretty crazy starts here. We do get underway as we look at Chance Crum. His last lap puts him up into third. Good lap from him.
And now taking a look at Alex Peck on his final lap, places into 10th for the time being, and I believe only one more driver is going to be Shearden. He comes off the corner to start his final lap. Actually, does he improve in any way? Yes, he goes to 10th place, knocking Alex Peck down into the top 20.
Sean Scott, currently 20th. Oh, that's not a good lap for him. 17.9. I believe he's still got another attempt around this race track. Sheridan didn't improve on his final attempt. It was a 14.5, so he will start no higher. 10th, we look back to Caleb Stizet, currently 34th, trying to find an improvement. Not going to find it. Not what he was looking for in that number 30. That is everybody done here in qualifying. Everyone getting it in before the session ends, which leaves us with a couple minutes here. And this track's going to change. The drivers that that qualified their way into the A main here are going to have a completely different track state to deal with when they get to that. The guys in Heat 2 might be a little bit more prepared for the track when the A main comes around.
Yeah, a little bit more prepared as well, especially if you run closer to the A main, as you see Alex Peck right now. He's continuing to just run practice laps at this point and try and get a feel for the racetrack, what he's going to be experiencing. And you can see right there on the timing tower, it is the entire top 12 within 1/10 of a second. And even then, all the way down to the top 20, it's still at least 1.5 seconds or so, all within the entire top 20. So a very close field, all 45, 46 drivers here in total tonight. So it's going to be absolutely wild in these first two heats. I would not doubt that whatsoever.
Track state for qualifying was only 20%, so not being used up very much at all for these drivers. Two heats, both 15 laps. Top 4 from both heats are going to advance in to the A main, the feature race, which will leave us with a 22 car field. 30 odd drivers are going to miss out on this A main. It's a tough business out there in the CSI 360s. And Eldora Speedway, it's fast, this racetrack. Probably the fastest track we're going to visit here this season. Going to be an opportunity for drivers that like the style of racing to try and get themselves off to a good start with the championship before we get some of the tighter tracks on the calendar. As the checkered flag does come out for qualifying now, and we move into heat number 1. 21 cars, and they line up behind Braden Fox on the pole. Justin Brester alongside him, Seth Christensen and Preston LaThomas start 3rd and 4th. Hunter Brady and Zach Jurek 5th and 6th. Tyler Rankin and Maverick Elkins off of row 4. Alex Rupert and Alex Relling starting 9th and 10th.
Starting 11th, it's going to be Colin Mitchell. 12th place rounded out by Seth Stenzel. It's going to be Josh Stoll and Dominic Carter in positions 13 and 14 respectively. Caleb Scheitze starts off in the 15th place position. And then rounding up the 21 car field, we have Jordan Shipley, Cale Coons, 16th and 17th respectively. Clayton Christensen starts 18th, 19th goes to Judson Miller, 20th Tom Land, and 21st will be Glenn Carson.
And thanks to our sponsor for the heat, which is actually a pit logic, but I'm gonna say thank you to Racing Buzz, because I should have called them in qualifying because I screwed it up. Well, they're now going to be sponsoring the heat here on the round 1 of the GSRC. And they are the OEM manufacturer for Schroeder and Chalk 6 torsion bars. So thank you for them, for their sponsorship. But we've pretty much gone through those heat details already, haven't we, Gary? We know what it's going to be. 15 laps, 21 drivers, only 4 advance. No room for mistakes here on this track.
No room at all. Braden Fox down on the way as the pace truck pulls off. It's going to be a mad dash for the top 4 as they're down on the way. Green flag flies here at Eldora.
And Fox immediately to the top of the race track, trying to get a good line. There's contact in the background. 28 clipped the fence and came down, tagged someone else. They went around, caused a crash in the back then. As we complete lap 1, it's Braden Fox from Justin Bresto on the top start of the racetrack. Hunter Brady down on the bottom, trying to take it away. Not going to do it through 1 and 2. Seth Christensen just in behind them in 4th place. The final transfer spot now is Brady still on that bottom side of the track, but not able to get up in front of Justin Bresto. Not quite at the moment.
That's 96 of Jurek that got the worst end of that initial accident. But you see right there, they are nearly 3 wide for position number 2 on the racetrack. And right now, everyone in the top 4 never mind, actually. Seth Christensen and Justin Brewster, they both make heavy contact, quick spins. They get back going as the battle for the lead is now about to go underway between Fox and Brady as they enter turns 1 and 2.
Oh no! Brady taken out by cars, stranded on the racetrack. He goes for a wild tumble up on his roof. He will not transfer to the A main, and he's still crashing down to that back straightaway. Remember, no cautions in these heat races, and he's only just now come to a rest on the racetrack. He goes back to pit lane while he can. He's walking away up front, but the battle for P2 behind.
Alex Rupert tries a slide job down to the inside on Alex Relling, but right now that was very unsuccessful. Seth Christensen back in the top 4 for the time being. Rupert still trying to continue that slide job at the moment, but it is not working. There's not enough grip down there on the inside lane. He'll try it again, and they almost make contact, actually, in turns 1 and 2 as we ride on board, and you'll see how far he sends it into the corner. Relling crosses down to the inside lane. Drag race off turn number 2 to the start-finish line. That time by, it was Relling in P3 at the start-finish line, just by a very, very small margin. They're side by side down in turn 3.
On the bottom of the track, Relling still not able to clear that car up on the high side. Alex Rupert doing a great job up against that cushion right now. Now he's able to finally move clear, and he dives straight to the bottom of the racetrack to take his preferred line through the corner. The battle for the final transfer spot well and truly in Christensen's favour right now. He's right on the back of Relling. He's about a second and a half back to P5 on back in the field, as long as he doesn't run into any more issues. He spun, don't forget, into that earlier incident, still somehow in the transfer spot.
And right now, lap traffic being navigated, that is Caleb Coons down there on the inside lane where Alex Relling trying to go up top. He'll take the top side around that around the driver of Cale Coons around the 54 machine, and Seth Christensen will go up top as well. And I think at this point, with 2 laps to go at the start-finish line, I think the top 4 is all said and done as Christensen tries to make his way by.
We go to the race leader, Braden Fox, at 1.1 second margin out at the head of this field. The man from Indiana has had it all his way as they crashed and battled behind him one more time around, and he will be the first person through into the A main as we go back to the P2 battle as well. Alex Rupert still battling hard, and that's a crash. Rupert is out of a transfer spot, and it's collected again.
It's going to be Brewster that's going to be in P4, but winning the heat is Braden Fox. Alex Relling second, Seth Christensen third, Justin Brewster coming in 4th place just by luck alone.
Well, you can call it luck, but he put himself in that spot to be the man to capitalize should someone run into issues at the front like they did. So the 4 that transfer will be Braden Fox and Alex Relling behind him, who started this one 10th, and then Seth Christensen and Justin Brister, the 4 to transfer through to the A main. The rest going to pack up and go home. The grid for Heat 2 brought to you by KT's steering service, Kevin Thomas Racing Services, rebuilds, repairs, and dynos power steering gears and pumps for the midget sprint car and Silver Crown markets. And so we look at our heat details as we read through the starting grid. It'll be Heath Smith off pole, Dine Nider alongside Sean Scott, Christian Burner off row 2, Robert Hummer and Braden Jones coming up ahead of Ryan Shorthose and Gareth Andrews, Joey Amantea and Caleb Styzik running up the 10.
Rounding out the rest of your 20-car field will be Mason Beinhauer in 11th. 12th place will be Reed Whitney. Austin Edson 13th. Dre Brewer will start in the 14th place position. Samuel Johnson rounds out the top 15 with Cody Williams to his outside in 16th. Kipton Stratton starts in 17th. 18th will be Caden Posey. 19th will be Bo Stenzel. And rounding out the field is Jack Hoyer.
So, same as race 1, 15 laps for transfer through. If it's anything like heat number 1, this is going to be crazy in the battle for the transfer spots then, as the leaders are already almost, and in fact they are, back on the wheels as we get ready to come to the green here. That pace truck will get the heck out of the way, and the field is unleashed at Eldora for heat number 2, and a great jump for Heath Smith, jumps out to the lead ahead of Dine Nider, and then at the bottom of the track losing out, going to be Sean Scott as Nider gets a great run out of turn 2.
What a great job by Dan Nadia to try and get a run on the inside. Spin in the back, unfortunately, as well. That's about to lead Heath Smith. And Dan Nadia battled out, trading slide jobs amongst each other, nearly making contact again as the field continues to make contact. It's currently Joey Anetta and Ryan Shorthouse in the top 4 as they continue to battle for P2 as well. But Heath Smith not giving up that lead too quickly. As Nadia gets into the outside wall in turns 1 and 2, he hangs on to it. Drag race down the back.
Watch out for Shorthose now in third place. Nider up into the fence and both of them go around. Nider and Shorthose, both the big issue. Shorthose ends up on his lid. Nider goes back to the outside of the top 10. He in a world of trouble now, and he will not transfer, barring massive issues further up for more drivers. Battle for P5 on the race track. Mason Weinhover just in behind Jack Hoyer, who just managed to sweep around these guys are almost 3 abreast behind. Robert Hummer finally loses out in that battle to 6/10 of a second margin up front. Back to Scott in third, it's 2 seconds. Edson needs to be squeaky clean to not come under pressure. He's in the final transfer spot at the moment. He's got no one around him for the time being. Although he's going to come around the outside of Sean Scott now. Trying to take B3 away.
Now try and get on the outside lane. Sean Scott not having the best momentum down on the inside lane as of right now. However, I think Jack Hoyer, now he's opted to take the top side now. As right now it's going to be a battle for the lead between Anetta and Smith, Amity and Smith. Off of turn number 2, they drag race down the back straightaway. Smith top side. Huge slide drop from the 49 as they cross paths once again here in turns 3 and 4. Heath Smith is crossing back up, a massive slide job. Nearly makes contact, but a great job by the 49 to keep it straight and attached to the outside wall off turn number 2. And right now, Edson and Hoyer currently P3 and P4, but I don't think Heath Smith is quite done. If he can catch it up, but I think the 49 has at this point absolutely checked out, and I think Smith might be losing a couple positions here in the next few laps if he keeps going backwards.
Sean Scott's dropped out of the 4. He's back to 5th place now. That bottom side of the track was not working for him. He's adjusted to the high side a bit too late here because he's lost out now. And a close battle for 2nd place. Heath Smith, Austin Edson and Hoyer almost banging wheels down that back straight away. Hoyer up on the top side of the racetrack, almost squeezed up into the bench there by Edson. He has to back out of it. He wants to come across somewhere in the top 4. He's got no pressure from behind. Doesn't need to battle extremely hard right now as we ride looking backwards from Edson's rear bumper.
Yeah, Heath Smith made contact with Brendan Jones, who was just in front of this group. Jones not exactly sure where to go as it's side by side for P2. Edson now up to P2. He'll try and slide job. Jones just comes across in front. That was a great shot. They made contact and Edson's up the track into the outside wall. He's going to be out of the transfer spot now with 2 laps to go, and he gets hit again as the battle continues for P2 between Smith and Hoyer.
Hoyer, they were caught 3 wide there for a moment. They slide up the racetrack. Hoyer with the momentum on the high side. Heath Smith down at bottom. Not do much about it as we go up to our man Taylor up front. Gonna win here, heat 2 of round 1 for the season. Gonna transfer straight through to the A main. P2 goes away of Jack Hoyer. Heath Smith third, and Scott will come across fourth after all of that.
Well, great job for Sean Scott to come in after, I believe, getting shuffled back throughout that heat as well. Really absolutely amazing. He got shuffled back, yeah, throughout the opening laps of that heat. Slowly climbed his way back up.
Great job from him. So the field is set for the A main. We've got a 5-minute warm-up to come before we take a look at the feature and the starting grid for it here at Eldora Speedway. The drivers get a chance now to see how the track has changed, especially those 14 that went straight through from qualifying. They can get their eye in and do some racing out on this racing surface. I'd argue the guys in the heats might be a little bit of a better spot because they've got their racing eye in already.
Now these drivers have pretty much gotten everything all set for the time being. I think at this point they're just going to wear the track in bit by bit. Right now it's at moderately low usage, about 35%. So they have a lot of track to work with before they absolutely just rub the track in with a whole bunch of rubber. And you can see the dust flying up as well from that camera shot. So that's going to be a thing to keep an eye out for the drivers in the back of the field, is that you really don't want to be in the back of the field just going full send, especially with all that dust in front of you. You can kind of see in front of you, but at the same time, it's best to just sit back, let everything sort out, and then go for some moves later on in the race.
Yeah, exactly. 40 laps ahead of us, we'll have caution, so going to be opportunities to get back up through the field and try not to be too aggressive too early, get up into the fence. Look at the wheel work from Chance Crum there. He just managed to find his way by that stranded car. You've got to put so much effort into the wheel here at Eldora.
And the onboard shot's pretty much the best. You can see it's not just a simple turn left and then kind of hold it to the right and then just slowly move back and forth. No, you have to really work that wheel. And you can just see even from the exterior camera angles as we take a look at Heath Smith right now, is that it's just a lot of wheel work. Your arms kind of, they definitely get tired, especially after a little bit of a while. So it's definitely a lot of work, especially you can see where Heath Smith right now just working different lines. Hunter Crum as well. Look up on the top side, you can see that he just got a bit of the cushion there up on the top side, which is the line of dirt that forms up on top next to the wall. Usually the preferred lane, but you see Hunter Crum now as he ride on board, is that not everyone's using that too much. And there's the cushion that he's on right next to the wall. That's going to be something to really keep an eye on. Oh, huge crash as they end their turns 3 and 4. Someone just went flying up in the air like a ping pong ball, unfortunately, but hopefully we won't see that in the race.
No, 20 other cars in the field. You don't know what may happen here as just remain in this warm-up session. The cushion will move up the racetrack. There's a car there, and Hannigan very thankfully towed before he got to him. And the evolving track is something you definitely have to keep up with on dirt, because you've got to adjust to where you're driving on the racing track as the cushion moves up and the track slicks out and starts to wear away. It's pretty much going to decide if you keep up with it or not, if you're going to perform well or not in the A main.
Yeah, especially with a track that's continuously evolving. I think I can see some rubber wearing in already, so that definitely did not take long whatsoever for the 3.5 minutes that we've already elapsed so far in the session. So it's going to be quite interesting, especially with drivers for this track. You want to make sure that if you want to slow down, well, make sure you don't hit the brakes, because the car will immediately want to turn left, and you don't want to collect somebody who's there on the inside. So usually you just have to let off and just let the car do the work, let the drag on the car do the work as well, and just let off the throttle a little bit. So throttle control might be a little bit key here for some of these drivers further back in the field.
You can see quite a few drivers in this warm-up session who have not quite mastered the art of driving in a straight line without crashing. we've seen a lot of incidents in this warm-up session so far, haven't we? But everyone can shake the cobwebs and shake the nerves and pre-race jitters, and they will be set once that visor comes down, metaphorically speaking, for the A main. It's all focus to the start and maximum attack for these drivers. As we take a look there at now Seth Christensen, who managed to progress through in heat number 1. Currently sits 19th, straight to Sean Scott. He's currently 20th. Both of those drivers progress in 4th place in their respective heats. 8 seconds remain here at Eldora Speedway in the warm-up. Let's take a look at how they will start here for the CSI competition suspension feature race at Eldora Speedway. Round 1 of the season, a 5-round week season ahead of us. It's a short and sweet championship fight, and now the feature grade up for us. Kenny Miller has the pole. Bryce Lucius starts from 2nd. Chance Crum from 3rd. Emerson Axum alongside him on row 2. Randy Hannigan 5th. Hunter Crum from 6th. Lauren Emig and Jeffrey Denny 7th and 8th. Rylan Gray and Austin Sheridan rounding out the 10.
You see your top 10 on the screen for drivers from all over as well. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. The second half of the field going to be Alex Peck starting from 11th in row 6. Alex Karpowitz starting off in 12th place. Chase Brandall and Logan Rumsey start in row number 7, 13th and 14th. Brian Fox and Joey Amantea start off in 15th and 16th for row 8. Row 9 holds Alex Relling and Jack Hoyer in 17th and 18th. In row 10 holding Seth Christensen and Pete Smith. However, row 11 will be Justin Brester and Sean Scott. They will round out your 22-car field here for tonight.
40 laps for this A main. It will go by in a fly with 15-second lap times. There will be cautions for incidents on the track. Hopefully we won't see, as a result, anyone towards the front or anywhere in the field being taken out by a stranded race car on the next lap, like we saw in that heat, which is often things that you've got to watch out for in the heat races of any dirt event on iRacing. You don't normally get cautions in those, so you've got to watch out when there's trouble at the back, when you come back around and you catch up to that trouble. As behind the pace car, the drivers get ready then to launch into the turn 1 at full pelt, trying to find some space on the racetrack as they cycle through and into the corner as the pace truck dives down out of the way. In the hands of Kenny Miller, green flag in the air. We're racing for the A main at Eldora.
And apparently race control has already thrown the caution flag for whatever reason. Not entirely sure. There's no accident, so I guess we're going to re-rack them and restack them and let them go again, but not entirely sure why. There might have been maybe a different order that was lined up. Not entirely sure, but regardless, the field is going to wait for the pace truck to come all the way back around through the field. So for whatever reason, we're under caution from race control.
We are not racing for the A main at Eldora. Lap 2 then will be completed under the caution, and the drivers will have to wait a little bit more to get the red mist and the blood pumping through their veins to get themselves under some green flag conditions. So, what do you think as a driver now, Gary? You're just about ready to go. You get on that throttle and immediately cautions out.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing, even from just from a standpoint overall. So, not entirely sure. Even I'd be, the anticipation's, pumping, the blood's pumping, you're excited, you're ready to go, and then race control decides to throw the caution. So it might be maybe an incorrect lineup or something, as that might be the case, as a few drivers may have to go by the pace car for pace truck. This pace truck did come out for in the middle of the field, so we will see. right now, for the time being, Kenny Miller has made his way back around, so I think the field getting let by the pace truck as due to where the pace truck had came out in the middle of the field, and during the time the caution was called, apparently the pace truck is going down early for whatever reason, and green flag is apparently out.
Caution's back out, and there is confusion around the Eldora Speedway right now as the caution comes back out. I think race control is just sorting out a few issues here in the field. Definitely did not want to go back green on that occasion because the field was completely not in the right order. Still on away for the initial caution period. If we do find out, we will let you know. Of course, we are as blind as you guys right now as to the current situation. We can say we'll get green in but a moment's time. They'll stack them back up again. We'll try again.
Now, looks like everybody might be lined up pretty much all the way good to go. So, looks like we will see, pending the lights going out this time around, should be going back green here on lap number 9. But, quite interesting, really, to see how this goes.
Always first in sim racing, and you commentate an event, you never quite know what you're going to get when you go live, and today it's a curious start to the A main. What it means though is these drivers suddenly have only about 30 laps to make their way through the field, so it becomes even more chaotic and frantic and crazy for these drivers. They've got very little opportunity now. They're formed up perfectly this time. Let's get the field back underway. Pace truck dives down. We're back green at Eldora.
It's going to be a mad dash off turn number 2 already, and everyone scrambling for position to see us. Tries to dive to the inside of Miller, but it will not happen. Kenny Miller leads the lap number 10 here at the start-finish line. 3 wide for position wants to be number 4 in the middle of the field.
3 wide, almost 4 wide. There's contact in the back, and someone goes flying through the air. Caution will come out this time for an incident. That incident was a pretty big one for the driver further back in the field.
Going to be the 56 of Austin Sheardon. Got tagged and up on the top side. You'll see a replay here in just a couple of moments here, but pretty big lone flip from Sheardon. And we'll get this up here. It's going to be off of turn number 2. Here he comes down the front straightaway. And you see that he'll take up to the top side. A little bit of contact possibly. And the 56 just gets stuck and tagged again. It just gets sent up into the outside fence.
Gathered it up. It's very hard to gather it up when you get up with the fence. He did a good job of it. Just really unfortunate that he was in the middle of a big field of cars and came back down into another competitor. Nothing he could really do about that after the initial contact. So he has to tow back to the pits, and that will put him out of the running for this one. So for, what's this, the 4th time we run under caution. That pace truck doing its hard yards today. That flag, man, that arm must be made of steel holding that flag up right now as we get ready to go back green on this lap.
The lights are out, and we shall see how Kenny Miller fares on this restart, taking back into the taking to the inside lane. I believe this time around, rather the outside lane, I should say. So we'll see. He's been quite dominant up on the top side so far. Emerson Axum in control of the field when the pace truck lets them loose. Axum brings them down to the green flag a little bit loose, but he just gets up to the top side enough as they go back down to turns 1 and 2, and it's already 3 wide for position number 2.
High side going to work though up top for the number 23, 3 wide behind now for 3rd place, trying to shoot through the middle. Not going to work for him as they check up on the top. No room, it's a log jam down there to the bottom of the racetrack. Trying to pull the slider is the number 1, but not going to work out that time. It'll be Axum that leaves them from Kenny Miller 2nd. The battle behind now very, very heated as to the bottom side of the track, taking away P2.
Yeah, that was Hannigan that tried to send it, and he was successful. He'll dive back down to the inside. A massive slide job from the number 55. Miller crosses over down to the inside lane.
There's a crash.
Caution is out.
You can just see in the back of the shot there, someone went around right in the middle of turn number 2, and didn't see whether they got collected by anyone else in that incident, so it puts us back under the yellow. And we'll take a look at our replay here. It was the 06 that ran into issues. And this is coming through 1 and 2 in the middle of the track. Contact behind him, or contact in front as well. And then he got turned as well. And that was what brought out the caution after those about 3 incidents he was in and around that.
I'm pretty sure around the point where you start to see incidents happening around you, you'd be a little bit wary on, you'd be a little bit worried, just maybe be a little bit worried in some cases as well, but most likely lights on the pace truck about to shut off this time around. Luckily for dirt racing in general here on iRacing, pace laps in general, very, very short. Everyone wants to get the race back going as quickly as possible, so I really appreciated that, because it's you know, you don't have lap cars to wave around the outside unless race control decides to do so, but yeah, it's going by dirt rules, of course, short pace laps, and just lets everyone back loose and getting the action going as soon as possible.
Let's try it again. Going to be 20 laps to go. We're halfway through the A main from Eldora Speedway. Let's get it back green. And a good jump there for the number 1 car. Jumps out to the lead of the race, but not going to have it all his way as he goes round on the high side. There's a big check-up and an incident behind. Can they hold on to it? Looks like they're going to just about keep it pointed straight as they all go to the top of the racetrack at the front. Now they fan out trying to find some room and their own line through the corner, and they're going backwards up on the fence. Who was that? Didn't quite catch the driver there.
Not entirely sure as it's a lone spin for another driver. Hopefully they get it back going. Christensen as well on his side as Hannigan comes around at turn number 2. I believe Christensen has already taken it until he has. So Hannigan out front, up on the top side, Axum off in the second. You see it down on the inside. That is Brian Lucius trying to make the inside lane work. However, with the majority of the field up on the top side, it's not entirely going to work for the time being. And he will fall back as it's going to be a looming battle for P5 here, and it looks like Lucius will continue to fall back on the inside lane. He's trying to rub it in, but it's not going to work. He goes back to the top side.
Chance Crum, Lucius battling it away for this spot up front. Hannigan has a smaller margin back to Axum, and the other Crum man in the field as Joe Denny sits there in 4th, into the wall there, and going to lose out a bit of momentum as well. These guys starting to close up now into the middle of the high side there, just fucking slot in line.
And right now Denny tries to find his way around. He'll go down the inside Chance Crum. So Chance Crum and Hunter Crum running 4th and 3rd, but right now that may be immediately broken by Denny, who slide jobs up in front and just barely getting by. It will be Chance Crum up on the top side and just managing, as right now Sean Scott is the big mover of the race for the time being as we ride on board. He did make contact with the outside wall, but luckily he did manage to hang on to it. You see he started 22nd, up 12 positions as there's a stack up on the outside off turn number 2 for P2. Hunter Crum, it's a big scramble for second place as Chance Hunter and the rest of the top 4 are battling it out.
And this continues. Hunter Crum manages to hold on to second. He's got his Chance Crum behind him. Caution flag's going to fly once more. We're going to have just under 10 laps to go when we get back green. This incident was further back in the field once again. We'll get the replay up on screen for you as soon as we get it. It was the number 11 that ran into issues this time. Jack Hoyer further in the field. He'd be making his way through the mid-pack, going backwards in the middle, and oh, that's a shame. Car already sideways at number 9, right in front of him. That was Seth Christensen. potentially. We have a look then at Seth Christensen and Alex Rowley. So unfortunate for Hoyer, the car stationary on the racetrack. Not much you can do to really avoid that.
Yeah, it's the 06 that had also had contact with another driver. Unfortunately, they're off turn number 4, so that caused a chain reaction to go into the 11, unfortunately, and that's how we are back under caution once again. But it's more than likely going out this time by. It's going to be a mad dash for the final few laps here at Eldora, and you see immediately Hannigan goes straight up to the top side, and I'm pretty sure, depending on whether or not restarts will be single file, Hannigan might, well, of course, well, we'll see. The start finish line lights go out. It's going to be double file remaining, so Hannigan going to be on the inside, and he'll just have to immediately take off as soon as possible when the pace truck is off the surface.
This could be the final time of asking then to get green in this race. One last chance for Randy Hannigan to get out to a good lead. He's got Hunter Crum to his outside. Chance Crum tucked right in behind. Who gets the best jump of the three? Or is it someone else that jumps out to the lead of this race? Green flag back in the air. Good restart for Hannigan and two for Chance Crum. He goes right to the bottom of the racetrack and a slide up in front of Hunter Crum, who comes back to the bottom side. And now he's going to go backwards to the top as Chance.
Axum with a big send into turns 3 and 4. That was not going to work, and that just stacked up everybody from P2 on back. Hunter Crum, however, with the slide job on Axum. Axum with the crossover down to the inside. There's contact behind, and it's going to be a big spin.
Yellow flag going to come out once more.
That's because Jeffrey Denny in the 61 that had just a little bit of contact.
And I believe it was contact with Chance Crum that sent him around. There's Crum just in front of him as they come down out of the corner, and they'll make their way through 1 and 2. The contact came just out of here, got into the back of him right there, sent Crum sideways, and the secondary piece of contact into the back sent Jeffrey Denny around. And so we slow him down again. Going to be a short dash to the end. Going to be under 5 to go.
Yeah, the adrenaline of these drivers were not pumping before. Well, it definitely is now, and that is for sure, especially with the fact that, well, it's going to be a short, quick dash. Lights on the pace car, or pace truck rather, still remain on for the time being. So it's going to be a 3-lap shootout here at the start-finish line when we take the green again. And I'm pretty sure Hannigan, I wouldn't be surprised if Hannigan was just a little bit nervous, to be quite honest, as the lights on the truck go out.
He's going to have 3 laps to make it back to the checkered flag when we go green here once more. Another caution comes out, it will freeze the race, I do believe. It will be made victorious, so he just needs to keep that nose in front. Axum will be to his outside. It's Crum and Crum off row 2 then. Hannigan, one last time of asking, gets us back underway. It's a good restart too for Axum up top. Look for Crum to dive to the bottom of the racetrack, as now Axum got checked up a little bit. Couldn't quite get back to the bottom side like he wanted. Goes for a big slider down into turn 3 and 4. Slides up in front of Hannigan. 2 to go. And he takes that lead away on the high side. Hannigan trying to come back on the bottom.
Hannigan trying to come back on the bottom for sure. Coming straight through, slicing through Lucius in third as Axum goes for another big slide. And Hannigan immediately sees it, dives down to the inside. White flag, whatever happens, happens. And it's going to be Axum diving down to the inside.
Last lap duel for the win in Eldora. Axum on the high side, Hannigan down low. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Trying to make it through as Hannigan. And out of turn number 4 on the bottom of the track. But both of them, Hannigan gonna win at Eldora Speedway. Axum will come across in second.
An absolutely incredible battle by those two in those final couple of laps.
We're going to go to a break here on the Global Sim Racing, the channel. When we come back, we'll have the results and post-race interviews coming up for you live. welcome back to Eldora Speedway Round 1 of the Competition Suspension Incorporated 360 series here on the Global Sim Racing channel. The A-main is completed, and this is how they finished. In the end, the margin just a tenth and a half from Hannigan back to Emerson, Axon in second. Chase Randall came home third. Kenny Miller in fourth. Chase Crum, the leading driver of that duo in the end, in fifth. Alex Peck and Bryce Pierce, sixth and seventh. Hunter Crum in eighth. 10 rounded out by Sean Scott, who in the end came up 13 spots, and Jack Hoyer in 10.
Finishing in 11th is going to be Justin Brester finishing off in the 11th place position. 12th place is going to be Alex Karpowitz. 13th, Jeffrey Denny. 14th is going to be Alex Relling. Rylan Gray unfortunately ran into a lot of bad luck throughout that race. Finishes in P15. Finishing 16th going to be Braden Fox. Heath Smith finishes 17th. Seth Christensen 18th. Lauren Emig 19th. And 20th will be Joey Ementea. Ementea, I apologize for that. Logan Rumsey finishes in 21st. 22nd is Austin Sheardon.
That is a look at your full 22 car results from the A-main. Great night of racing we've just had. And the race itself was pretty good. We had some great action when we weren't running around under caution. We had a confusing start, but once we got underway, it was pretty good.
Yeah, the slide jobs that those drivers traded at the end, most notably Hannigan and Axum just trading it for the lead. They both ran the inside lane in turns 3 and 4. It was actually really good. It was really good, especially with just how these drivers traded lanes, how they took advantage of certain parts of the racetrack. It was a scramble for sure, but I think some of these drivers had utilized the lanes here on the racetrack as much as possible.
I wonder if Axum might have found the lead if he'd ran it around the top in 3 and 4. Great awareness from Hannigan to drive it down to the bottom, prevent that slide job from happening. But he did well. He deserved to win this race, and he got it done. If you do want to, if you finish well, make sure you come and join us in our Discord channel, which is linked in YouTube. And we will interview you post-race. We've got no one coming to play with us today, so next time out, we will talk to you all at the end of the race. So we'll wrap things up here from Eldora Speedway. Thank you to the series sponsor, CSI Shocks, for their support of the series. And thanks to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast, which are listed on your screen. Thanks, of course, as well to June Lalonde, who provides the music. You can see how to get hold of her up on the screen. Thanks to the team with me today, Gary Weaver and Sean Ambrose. You can find out more about GSRC, including our upcoming races, at globalsimracingchannel.com or on our social media channels on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. You can also check out our merchandise store at gsrc.store.nvy. That link in the description below. Don't forget to head onto YouTube and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Check the screen for our upcoming races and mark them down in your calendar. From all of us here in the booth, thanks for joining us, and until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.